Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for choosing Across the Fence. I'm Will Michael. We kick off a new week with a new edition of Money Monday, and our focus this afternoon is on a couple of different things. It is the tax season, so our expert will review what you need to do in terms of tax preparation. She'll also discuss credit reports, why they matter, and how you can get yours for free. Our Money Monday expert is certified financial planner Christine Moriarty. Christine is the president of Money Peace in Bristol, and she joins us each month to address specific money-related topics. Thanks for coming in. It's always great to see you.
I'm glad to be here.
Now, I think I have everything for my taxes, but how do I know for sure?
You know, honestly, you don't know. And here is the thing. Sorry about that, but that's the truth. The tax law changed. And that impact that we might forget because it happened over a year ago was our 2017 tax prep might be different than 2018. So let's talk about what you do want to gather. And then once you meet with your accountant, you'll know what applied this year and what didn't.
So you're reminding me that the constant is that there are changes every year, and that especially the federal, the state, not so much the local level, but there's changes every year.
There's changes every year, but typically they're minor, Will. This time they were big.
Yep.
So that some of the deductions you used to take may not apply anymore.
Right.
So all those medical receipts you have may not reach the limit. All those charitable ones may not help towards your deductions. So we don't know until your taxes get done.
So even though things have changed, the constant then for me as the taxpayer is the preparation, the paperwork.
The paperwork. And so as far as the paperwork, you want to gather two sides of your life. One is the income side.
What's coming in?
And the other is the expenses, what goes out. So the income is always going to be taxed. So gather up your 1099s, your W-2s, your Social Security statement, anything that has come in. Typically it has to have come in by the end of January. Sometimes there's a few stragglers, but by law it's supposed to be received and sent out by the end of January. That's your income. That will always be taxable.
Okay, and then you said two sides of the equation. The other piece is the deductible side.
The deductible side is gather all the possible deductions. So any of the taxes you paid, real estate taxes, state taxes, charitable gifts, medical expenses, mortgage interest paid, those kind of things, student loan interest paid, have that information ready for your accountant. Those are the deductions is where things have changed a little bit. So they may say, hey, you gathered all those charitable deductions. You won't need that unless you contribute over $10,000 a year.
So those changes we don't want to remember, but they occurred at the federal level back sometime in 2018, and now is when the first time that we're going to see them.
Exactly, because they applied starting January of 2018. I want to interject one good change in the Vermont tax law. Social Security is no longer taxable, but you do need to report it, but it's taxed differently now than it was in the past.
So these two pieces that we're talking about, is there you mentioned the end of January as things are legally supposed to come due. When is the best time to pull all this stuff together?
I tell people to do it during the year. Just have a little box or an envelope or something that we talked about organization last time where all your tax information goes.
So if you have it, then you're ready to do it now.
You're ready to do it. And then in January, when the information appears with the final 1099 saying how much interest you got from your whole account at the bank or your investments, you just pile it in there and you're done.
Okay, so you're explaining some of the reasons why. You also brought a slide with a bit of a laundry list that reminds us, do it now, and some of the reasons why are it's going to help us get our refund faster if
Absolutely. And the reason you want to gather it and get it to your accountant is you can fill out those tax forms quicker. You can see what applies. You can also know where you're at. Like sometimes people tell me, I'm not going to do my taxes until April 1st because I know I owe money. Well, if you know now that you owe money, then you can
You got a 10-week jump start.
Right. You can save for it. Still pay it in April, but have it done already. The other thing is accountants are less busy right now. So this will all move faster. And if you are getting that refund, getting your money back.
And again, just a bit of a recap, you were talking about the changes, and I have read some pieces that suggest that there are some surprises for people this year based on the federal changes. And if you're going to owe money, don't you want to know that and plan for it now, as opposed to waiting till April 1st or April 14th to
Right.
find out that I need to write a significant check to the IRS?
Right, and if you don't have that money, you want to save for it. Because if it isn't paid by April 15th, you are going to have to pay interest and taxes, penalties on it.
Yep.
So do it now, and it's going to save yourself some stress instead of waiting until April.
Well, let's talk about February still, and making a bit of a transition here. And this is a piece of the discussion that I'm very much looking forward to because there's so many advertisements out there. Let's talk about what else, and I'm leading into credit scores and credit
Right.
reports. So what do you want folks to know about those?
I want them to know that credit reports and credit scores are different, Will. Everyone always tells me,
Sorry, that's worth repeating. A credit score is different than a credit report.
correct. A credit score is a number, okay? A credit report has information with your name on it, your social security on it, all your history, your past history around credit. So that means that if you took out a car loan right after college in 1980, that will be on your credit report. Even if you've forgotten about it, it is there. The credit reports are what your score is based on. So they are important to look at so that you know your score is correct.
So I said to you before we started this discussion today that I have a credit card in particular that tells me, click here to find your credit score. And you're reminding me that's only part of the story. It's good to know my score, but the place that really matters is the report. Why?
Because there's 3 or 4, but 3 main financial reporting companies. So your score may be great at one of them, but the other one may not be so good because there's an error on it.
Okay. And again, I said this to you before we started, I'm not the only one who sees the various advertisements on television. So what does one need to do to get a free, authorized by the government, that free credit report?
And that's really important, free. I like free. You go to annualcreditreport.com or the phone number that's on the screen, 877-322-8228. So that again is a toll-free number, 877-322-8228. And you can request all 3 free credit reports.
And is the difference of what I see in the advertisements, is that because they're only giving me my score, not a report? Is that why I hear these other things, call us, go online for free?
For free, typically they're giving you your
Score, not the report.
But not the report. Or if they are giving you a report, they're giving you just one report. So one report is nice, but you want all 3, Will, because if you don't have them all, you may go to the bank and get a loan, and they might say you have great credit. You might go to a car company and say, I need to get a loan for my car, and they say, you have bad credit. So here on the screen is the 3 agencies, and I went on my phone and just did a clip of this. The 3 agencies are Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax.
And folks might have heard of some of those, particularly Equifax.
Equifax had the big breach,
Yeah.
and so many people went and checked their credit report for Equifax, but did not check it for the other 2.
Okay. Now, you tell me, and I take your word for this, because that there are step-by-step instructions. I'm not just going to some random site. This is the one authorized by federal law, and when I get there, I'm going to get some instructions?
Absolutely. So if you go on, let's put on the screen the next step-by-step instructions. You can see it says right up there, 1, 2, 3. Here's what you do. Remember, you have to do it 3 times, the same step-by-step instructions 3 times.
For each of the 3 companies?
For each of the 3 times. It is easy to do online, and one of the things I'd suggest is, if you're not online, get someone you know and love to spend time with you to do it online. Go over and join your grandson to do it and have them do it too. That's a gift.
Okay. So I'm going to get the report. What do I need to do once I get it?
Is read it. I typically
it's going to
say
be something I can understand. We're not talking some legalese document.
no legalese document. What I tell people is definitely print it out, or if someone's tech savvy, they can download it and keep it. Because what happens is you only get it once a year for free. So if you click a button and it's gone, you'd have to pay for it to get back. So
But because there's 3 companies, when you say I only get one, I get one from each company.
correct.
Okay.
Thank you for clarifying.
So these are the things to, when you say print it out, and this is what you want us to look for.
You want to look for the addresses, the accounts, the balances. Are those all really your addresses? Open credit cards that you closed, do they say that they're open, but you closed them? Any misinformation at all? They're pretty easy to read. You might have to read it slowly. You can correct the information. There's directions on how to follow that. And you want to just remember that it lists whether you paid things on time or not. So if you didn't pay things on time, you can add why you didn't. I was out of a job or whatever. There's a lot of instructions in there if there's misinformation.
All right, about a minute left. We've gone over a lot of really good things. Maybe give a quick February type recap.
Financial tips for February: let's prep your taxes early, because you're going to lower your stress, you're going to have better planning, and you might get a refund back based on the tax law. Check your credit reports and make that a February activity with someone you love, even since Valentine's Day is coming up. And then keep up with that file system that we talked about last month, because that will make your life easier.
Awesome. Well, a lot of great information. Thank you very much, Christine. And we want to point out to our viewers, if you have a question for Christine, she'd appreciate hearing from you. You may even feature your question on a future edition of Money Monday. So you can check her website or give her a call. That is our program for today. We know you have choices, so thanks for choosing us. I'm Will Michael, inviting you to join us back here each weekday afternoon for another visit Across the Fence.